Gentlemen, I request all of you to please settle down. We are about to start the next session. Our next session shall be covering the case studies by the experts on different cities of the world. We are extremely privileged and honored to have a very diverse panel. May I now request the chair of the session, Shri N. Sivasailam, Additional Secretary, Department of Telecommunications, Government of India, to kindly take his seat on the dais. I would also like to invite our other panel members, Shri M. Nagarajan, Mr. Christoph Collinet, and Shri Amit Talwar could not make it to the event. Instead, Mr. Amit Gupta, General Manager, CTU, will be here. I request him to please take his seat on the dais. And Mr. Roberto Gavazzi from Italy will be joining us through video conferencing. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hand over the stage to the chair for further proceedings of the session. Sir, it's over to you.
After lunch, and I'll try to keep you awake as much as possible. First things is, see, English is always a very funny language. Now, I would request your participation to help me define what do you mean by leak proof? Leak proof. That means it does not leak, am I right? It doesn't, yeah. What do you mean by waterproof? That means it is not, the water does not percolate through. Now what do you mean by future proof? The one does not have any future? So, the whole idea is, when you say future proof, I would hasten to believe that it is futuristic, the one which has sustainability, which has the ingredient of sustainability, and which has the ingredient of scalability, replicability, and all that. So here, I thought that future-proof, somebody should not understand. Those who are speaking French will always say future-proof means should have no future. So we have to be, there things are understood strictly, as I was told about the French language. So, and quite a few of us will also try to interpret it based on our understanding of leak-proof and waterproof. So I thought I'll just clarify that the whole idea is to have smart cities. We had a presentation on that in the previous session, which addressed those concepts. And I only want to say is that our thing is a continuation, and it is not it's a proof of that continuation, and it is not something which is antithetical. So with this, with this flutter, I thought I'll have Nagarajan to take the floor first, and he has a flight to catch, and you're going to hear implement us, so I thought it'll make wonderful sense to know as to how far we have proceeded in the area of smart cities and its implementation. Over to you, Nagarajan.
Respected Additional Secretary Telecom, Shri Sivasailam sir, respected Chief of CDOT Tyagi sir, other distinguished guests on the dais and off the dais. I am glad to be presenting here about Surat, which is one of the selected smart cities in the first set of lighthouse cities. And I can confidently say that even in the implementation part, we are leading. And I am also the Deputy Commissioner in the Surat Municipal Corporation and leading the smart city as CEO. The chairman of the SPV is our Municipal Commissioner, Mr. Tennerson, who is also a 2000 batch IAS officer, and before him, Mr. Melin Torone, IAS was there, and both of them have given us a good platform to actually convert this vision of smart city into action. So, since I have a flight to catch and this post-lunch session is there, I'll try to keep the tempo a bit faster so that you are all not lulled into a little bit of relaxed mode. And Surat always brings out a lot of feelings and thoughts. People have a lot of ideas about Surat. Some of the facts I want to share here is that it is the 8th largest city in India. It's the fourth fastest growing city globally. And it is the economic capital of Gujarat. And if you have a diamond in your hands, I can say confidently that it should have passed through Surat. So 9 out of 10 diamonds in the world are cut and polished. So the journey is from Amsterdam to Bombay, Bombay to Surat, and back to Surat to Bombay, and then back to Amsterdam. So this is how it happens. It is anecdotally said that every day 250 to 300 crore worth of diamonds move in the trains from Surat to Mumbai. Yes. So 40% of the nation's total man-made fiber is produced in Surat, and 28% of total nation's man-made fiber production is also in Surat. It's a very old municipality established in 1852 and corporation in 1966. If you can see the rapid growth, I always used to say that every month 25,000 to 30,000 people come to Surat and they never go back. That means average of 1,000 people a day are added to the population of Surat on a permanent basis. Our decadal growth rate is 60 to 80%. That means every 10 years, every 15 years, we are almost doubling our population along with the area coverage also. If you see the maps, it has been increasing very rapidly. So far we have been managing without big problems. That itself shows that, we are a bit smart in other ways. So Surat always has been thinking smart. The Smart City project has given us a governance and administrative framework to join the national mainstream and do something which as a nation's priority. And this is the Smart Cities mission, our Prime Minister's statement, that we need to overcome the challenges with the aim of promoting economic growth and strengthen governance. Just a small 2-3 slides about how we prepared our Smart City proposal. We had a lot of engagement with the people, essay competition, drawing competition, polls, discussions and webinars, consultations, surveys, lot of social media engagement, polls and other things. It was also mandated and for the Smart City proposal, so that it is not a few bureaucrats who are deciding what should happen with the city, but the people are actually contributing. And these are some of the numbers about the engagement of the people, about competition, drawing competition, discussion forums, and we had design contests and all that. This is a priority of the people as per the voting that has been taken on MyGov, and integrated transit, mobility and connectivity was taken as the biggest priority, after which education and other themes happened. So this is our vision statement: smart utilization of the Surat city's potential for enhancing quality of life, which is aligned with the Smart Cities mission. So our entire Smart City plan is divided into two concepts. One is a Pan City, which is mostly IT based, and also area based development, where 7 TP schemes have been selected. This area of around 9 square kilometers contributes to almost 30% of Surat's GDP. Even Surat is contributing a major amount of GDP to the India's GDP, and in that the 30% comes in this 10 square kilometers. So you can understand the economic intensity of this area. Our entire population is around 5.5 million, 55 lakhs. This is a bird's eye view of our Pan City project. If you see, around 800 crores is for IT-based smart city initiatives, and for area-based development, which includes, which also has some smart components like smart water meters, drainage, SCADA, and integrations. All these are planned in this. And Government of India, Government of Gujarat, and Surat cities contribution along with PPP. If you see the last second column, around 795 crores is envisioned as PPP mode projects. It is a challenge and an opportunity for the industry to actually come up with innovative ideas and solutions that converts the potential of any smart city by bringing in market expertise and also solutions, at the same time taking a part in the being a partner in the progress rather than just being a vendor. So I think it's time for the industry to look at PPP as not just a government related project, but as a industry's core strategy for deployment. Especially smart city provides that clear-cut opportunity. So Surat was in the 4th position in the competition that was held for the Surat Smart City. And last 2016 March, 31st March, our SPV was formed. So we have just completed 1 year for the SPV. The Pan City proposal has this IT Max Center, which is a common city command and control center, automatic fare collection system, ERP system, SMAC Center. I'll just cover these in the subsequent slides. In the IT Max Center, there are 3 components. One is the ITMS system, which has already been under implementation. Almost 70% project is completed. In the automatic traffic control system, it is in the tender finalization stage. It includes 168 signals, automatic systems for red light violation, speed detection, and all the other things. It will be integrated with the Safe City project in Surat, where already 600 CCTV cameras are in operation for the last 2.5–3 years, and every day more than 2,000 challans are generated from this from the police control room. So this project also will be integrated with that, and the CCTV augmentation is also added with 1,000 more CCTV cameras, which will be added into this system. And the automatic fare collection system pilot project is underway. The project has been awarded to NEC Japan, and it will be combining the BRTS, City Bus, and other payments. Everything will be coming in this for the transit applications. The SMAC Center, first version has already been opened in the last 25th June, which was a 2nd anniversary of Smart Cities initiative. We have 7–8 civic services which are being monitored from this center. Surat Money Card, which is a common city payment card, the final work order is about to be given in 10 days. We will be tying up with a bank, which will give a common branded open loop card, which can be used for transit, non-transit, retail, and any purpose within the city. We will have personalized and non-personalized card. So you will have sort of prepaid card for the tourists, and also for the regular residents, we will be able to give a personalized card after verification and KYC. It will have direct bank account linkage, it will have a wallet, it will have property cards and other civic details, library membership, swimming pool membership, and other things. So it will be both for identity and for payments and for transit. So we have tried to cover the entire spectrum of card usage in a smart city scenario. And one of the discussion in the morning also mentioned about the need for a common city card. We are also planning to tie up with reward points, payback, and also encourage the citizens for positively by giving them, incentivizing them through this card for doing good things within the city also. The citywide Wi-Fi and fiber to home, we want to create a citywide backbone, and there are multiple options we are still considering. We are looking for the right PPP partner who can enable a 1,300 kilometer core citywide backbone, and also enable FTTH and Wi-Fi services and other value-added services like triple play on this platform. The entire 5.5 million market is open, along with SMC support, corporation support can be used by any of the innovative and courageous partner from the industry. This is an open data initiative which has already been released. Surat was the first municipal corporation who are on the open data platform of Government of India along with NIC. It is a same open data platform which was used in the data.gov.in, and we have already released a lot of data sets, and we are in the process of releasing more. In convergence with this, we are having a digital initiative for Surat City, a society which is having stakeholders from industry, academia, and students and other representative bodies who will act as the route to the people who can engage with us on IT and open data initiatives. In the area-based proposal, the population is 5 lakhs, floating population is 1 lakh. Retrofitting and the road signages, improvements, smart boards, and other components have been taken. And in this also work order has been given just yesterday. So coming June 25th is our 3rd anniversary. So we will be hoping that some part of it will be executed and put into implementation. We are also having skywalk, creek development, non-vehicular zone, and other smart concepts, not only in terms of IT, but non-IT smartness also are being implemented in Surat. These are some of the solutions planned for area-based development. The entire 96,000 streetlights will be converted under ESCO model with EESL, already the work is underway and will be completed in 2 months. We are also 4,500 EWS houses project has been also taken under PPP mode, and project houses are under construction already. Water meters also, the tender is out, 27,000 smart water meters along with overhead tanks and distribution network. Sewage recycle, reuse and stormwater, the projects are underway, and some of them have already, work has already started. For the renewable resources, one good example that 5 years ago Surat has done was investing in offshore windmills. And the proposed break-even was 6 years, but we had break-even in 4.5 years. It is a 17.5 crore project, and which has been already, break-even has been achieved, and net of wheeling cost, we are getting a lot of further benefits. So I can confidently say that Surat was smart long before smart city came into vogue. And also wind energy has been done, and biogas plant is also under implementation. It's about to be completed. It's 500 ton per day with agriculture market. Solar rooftop 1 megawatt is under implementation. And so in the rooftop solar for residential areas, Surat is having 90% applications of the entire country, which is more than around 3,000 applications for this scheme in the rooftop solar in the residential category. These are some of the LED street lights which are under implementation. This is Skywalk proposed model along with some travelators. Smart parking in 7 locations are also planned. Visual improvement for road signages and other things. I'm just rushing through. These are some of the smart signages planned, and improvement of the roads along with dedicated cycle track. Logistic park is under planning along with the dedicated freight corridor project. We are also having to catalyze the ecosystem for innovation and startups, and also introduce resilience into our economy by bringing in innovation and startups. There is a project for incubation and innovation startup partnerships. We are also actively scouting for partners who will be able to help us in the entire value chain from innovation to business facilitation, including innovation, incubation and venture funding and other things. We are open to discussion on these areas. This is affordable housing, which I have already discussed. Air and water quality, we are physical weather monitoring and also air quality monitoring, which is being implemented. The tender will be finalized in this week. So these are some of the projects in which work is already under progress for rainwater recharge and innovation of sewage treatment plants, LED, light monitoring systems, water recharging through stormwater drainage, visual improvement, housing and biogas plant. And in the Pan City, ITMS project for the integrated transit, SMAC center, fare collection and open data are already implemented. The tender stage finalization 64%, and already work is in progress in 30%. So almost more than 90% project groundwork has been started, and planning stage only 6% of the projects are there. This is some glimpse of the SMAC center which we have right now, and bigger city command and control center, the tender has already been floated. So this is a SMAC center architecture. I will not spend much time. This is the key slide for today, where we are already thinking about having an integrated city-wide framework for smart cities, especially in data sharing for IoT platform. We already had a short discussion with the CDOT people, and I'm glad that they are taking the positive initiative. And during my another visit to ISGov conference, which was held recently, we had a forum on 1M2M, and we had discussions about how there were discussions about the maturity of the 1M2M standards and its applicability on the ground right today, rather than just some concept which can be discussed in future. So the readiness and the readiness to build integrators for the existing legacy systems, and also bring in a common IoT layer. So there are two things that by adopting a common IoT layer, especially we have had discussions about 1M2M, is that it will give a proper framework to think about data interchange, both within the government and also with outside the government, and also having full visibility across the entire network, and also having granular control, both at the central level and also at the edge level. So these are some of the things that are already in finalized stage. So we look forward working closely with the team here in CDOT, so that if we can adopt it in the standard. If we delay it now, we will have to go. We cannot wait. running smart cities is like changing a broken axle of a train which is running at 100 kilometer speed. So there is no time to even slow down. So if we have to bring in standardized approach in practical government, the time is to jump right in and use agile approach, do, learn, change, rather than just keep talking. So I'm glad that today the forum is talking in that direction, and we look forward to leading the ideas on especially standardization in IoT and also in smart cities. As you can see, we have identified clearly the IoT platform and integration engine where the standardization can be immediately applicable. Of course, the other standardization in various other systems will also follow. So integrated transit management system, this is a glimpse. You can imagine that a city with a population of 5.5 million didn't have a public transport since until last 2-3 years. In fact, the entire bus fleet, everything is new. Only last 2 years we have introduced a lot of buses. People are moving from private transport to public transport, and right now the number of buses is 475 including BRTS and city bus, but we will be reaching it to 1,000 buses in the, by this year end, that is in December. So we are scaling up on all the sites that is possible. And if you add the AFCS project, automatic fare collection, single transit card into this, I think that will be the ideal situation and also the conversion rate in the smart cities. The virtual civic center, we are already ahead in terms of implementation of online activities, e-governance. Surat Corporation has dedicated e-governance department since 1995, and we have in-house developers of 50 people. Our IT department has the capabilities to deliver on the expectations of the people, and this is a quick growth in the online transactions, both in terms of number of transactions and also in terms of amount. We have been increasing, and I am sure that this year we'll hit much more higher targets than this because of the recent drive on DigiDhan and other things. So Citizen Connect mobile app, some of the facts, it has more than 1 lakh downloads, and a lot of requests are coming. We are already very proactive in sharing data. Our Wearcom Causeway water levels during flooding and other things are already available last 2-3 years in our website, and people use it in their day-to-day activities also. These are some of the solutions which we have built internally for vector control, malaria control, water quality, street light, rent, property revision, night rounds, roadworks, leakage mapping, and tree sensors. Surat Money Card, I have already discussed. These are the broad areas it will be covering. Almost there is no area which is not touched by this card. Digital India Convergence, we are already integrated with the digital locker. All birth certificates issued are by default issued with digital locker. And we have also integrated, we are also authorized agency for Aadhaar integration, and we are using Aadhaar for our other authentication purposes within Surat Corporation. I thank you everyone for giving us the opportunity, and I look forward to working with right partners to create the next model for Surat and also for the country. Thank you.
With the kind permission of the chair, I would like to interrupt the proceedings for a moment. As Mr. Nagarajan has to take a leave, I request the chair of the session, Shri N. Sivasailam, to please felicitate Shri M. Nagarajan with a memento. Thank you, sir. I hand over the proceedings again to the chair.
Shall we go with Mr. Christoph?
Thank you.
Presentation, floor is yours.
Good afternoon, everybody. So I'm in charge today to explain that in Bordeaux we don't have only wine, but we have also smart cities project. So I will try to explain this. And to explain the purposes of my presentation, I will begin by putting face to face the demand side and the needs of the cities. So the European cities, we want to deploy new smart city services on a large scale, and the industry side that provide solutions, but these solutions respond to highly variable functional perimeters, and they are not often, quite never, interoperable between them. So, my day-to-day experience of the smart city, when I took in charge of the smart city project in 2015, I wanted to get this holistic approach we are talking about, and to understand what were the needs of my colleagues of the other departments. I wanted to meet them to understand what they wanted. The first guy I met was the responsible of the department of buildings of the city, and he said to me, "No, don't be worried, Christophe. We as you want, we use interoperable solutions, and we use standards. We know you are keen on standards, so we use standards. We use KNX." Okay, so I met the next guy on the next door who was in charge of, in the same department of energy management, and he said to me, "For the PLCs, no matter, we use a standardized system, BACnet." Okay, so already in the same department I had two different standards, and I went ahead and to meet the guy in charge of fire detection, who explained to me that he had the best standard we could find, which was called Modbus. So in the same department, three guys using standardized solution explained to me that they had the best standardized solution. No way. I went on and met the guy in charge of light management system, who explained he had also a very good solution through daily standardization systems. Well, all those smart meters were connected through different standardized offers, and we had to connect those different smart meters with either Wi-Fi, fiber optical, LoRaWAN, Sigfox, ADSL. So this is my day-to-day life. To try to find solutions to those issues, I reflected about what would be the best way to try to interconnect all those different features. And my first thinking was to get in touch with other European cities through a European network of cities, which is called Eurocities. So this network of more than 130 major cities in Europe, which was founded in 1986, tried to think about those issues, more specifically through a forum which is called the Knowledge Society Forum. So in 2015, we defined a new strategy through this Eurocities Forum, which was about standards and interoperative working groups to think about all those issues and to try to find together the solution. So those reflections guided us to think about how to lobby for less technical guidelines and standards on interoperability, how to define and list city needs, on standards with a particular emphasis on desired outcomes to be addressed. We wanted to map members' current approach through surveys and to create a library of standards already used by members. The first deliverables we got on about city needs was a strategy we defined, and which is in 4 points. The first one is how to get guidance and awareness. The second one is to define and use a common indicators framework to get and share the same KPIs for every city. To give confidence in investment, as it was said before, we don't want to throw away the legacy systems we invested in, and we need to build on existing things. And we want to promote tangible proof of concept and showcases, so we want to see that it really works in real conditions. As a first deliverable, we propose to disseminate and to circulate this extract. You can see there. This is a standard and interoperability management guide, which is dedicated to the political people to explain why it is useful to think about standardization, to think about interoperability, what it is, very in a simple way. So this is the first one. For people who want to see it, I have some example of those deliverable with me. So if you want after the presentation, I will be able to give you some. That was the first way to think about interoperability. The second way was to use European projects to be able to discuss the different experts of the different departments of the city together for the same purpose, for the same outcomes. So in 2015, we won an Horizon 2020 Lighthouse project, which is called Sharing Cities. So this is a Lighthouse program, which is a proving ground for a better common approach to making smart cities a reality. The project partners will close in close cooperation with the European Innovation Partnership on Smart Cities and Communities and with other Lighthouse Consortia. So the European Innovation Partnership on Smart Cities and Communities has an outcome to build a urban platform common to all European cities. This project associates in a consortium 3 lighthouse cities, London, Milan, and Lisbon, and 3 fellow cities, Bordeaux, Warsaw, and Burgas, with 35 partners from industry, from NGOs, and academia. The demonstrators stay in London, in the Royal Grove, Greenwich, in Lisbon, downtown area of Lisbon, and in Milan, in a district which is in the southeast side of Milan, in a rural area. And as fellow cities, we are in charge to co-develop, but also to replicate it. And that's the issue, is how to replicate, how to scale up demos to be able not to just put different demos in verticals, but to spread out smart city projects on a more industrialized way of thinking. So this project ran for 5 years. It draws 24 million euros, And we have specific funding which are dedicated to fellow cities. The important point in this project is that thanks to this project, we could meet the different experts of the departments of energy, of mobility, of lighting, and they were able to speak together much more than when they work in Bordeaux. But when we go to see what's happening in Milan with them, when we go to see what's happening in Lisbon, they can work together. That's a first way to be able to make civil servants, experts in their different domains, to work together. That was a good lesson for me. And that's the topics where we are involved in. So the citizen engagement, the building retrofit, energy management, electrical mobility, smart lampposts, and the last one, which is also the most important, urban platforms, to collect all the data and to be able to push the data through the dashboard. And the third way to tackle the issues I was describing at the beginning was to work with ETSI and to work with a technical committee which is called ATTM, which offered me to create a specific work group which is called SDMC, like Sustainable Digital Multi-Service for Cities, which is in fact the network, how to describe and specify the network layer for the cities in an abstract way. And you have here the term of reference of this working group. Standardization work on specific engineering of SDMC ICT, specification of topology and functional requirements, specification of functional and physical characteristics of interfaces, and standardization work on operational sustainability management. I'm very proud now to announce that first technical specification 103/463 as a stable draft release is now at disposal, and it defines something I was speaking about in a previous slide, the KPIs for smart cities to express the city level, the maturity level, in terms of people, in terms of planet, prosperity, and governance. So this TS is able to describe more than 140 different KPIs to measure how your city is smart. And to illustrate my presentation, I will present you a use case which was already showed in ETSI premises in November, which is about energy management in Bordeaux School. So we had this issue. We wanted with the energy department to interconnect and to manage the 400 boilers of the city. The boilers which stands in the schools, in the swimming pools, and so on. This project was launched in 2013 with a 14 million euros of budget, and in 2015 we just achieved 2/3 of the project, and with the consumption of 2/3 of the budget. So we had a big issue to find a solution to solve this. So we looked at interoperability solutions and to interconnect the remote sites we could not interconnect through classical and traditional telecommunication solutions like fiber optical or even Wi-Fi. we try to work with LoRa, which is an ultra-narrowband network. You may know, you may use to there. But we had an interconnectivity problem to solve. We could solve through 1M2M solutions, which translated the PLC's backnet language to IP, standardized IP language, and to go through Obgenius. Obgenius, in fact, is a telecom operator, which is a spin-off of Bouygues Telecom in France, one of the mobile operator, one of the 3 mobile operators in France. And we could, through this 1M2M solution, we could interconnect 400 boilers with less than 1/3 of the budget we had previously budgeted. And through this solution, we could also now interconnect classical sensors directly connected through LoRa features. And this is the architectural framework of the solutions. Now we are thinking to extend this experiment, this proof of concept, to a whole district of the city of Bordeaux, in the north of Bordeaux, so interconnecting not only boilers, but also lampposts, also EV chargers, also controllers, access controllers, and many things, every features we need on a district, but at a district level. So I had a video to show you, but we didn't test if it works, so I offer you to have a look in YouTube. It's a video which explains in 3 minutes the showcase which was demonstrated in... We can try, you think? I can dare. So if it doesn't work, okay.
The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line.
Yeah, I can see it on my screen, but I don't... You have nothing. Well, okay, let's go on. So you will be able to have a look and just not on the screen. In fact.
Can we share at the end of the session?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay, no matter. We go ahead. So, yeah. As a conclusion, I invite you all to be in Bordeaux from the 7th to the 8th of June, because we will host an ETSI workshop about making smart cities sustainable. So I learned this morning that it was on the first page of the ETSI official website, so you can have a look. And you will be also able, for sure, to taste the wine if you can be in Bordeaux in June. So, thank you very much for your attention.
We go ahead with the third presentation. Amit Gupta, floor is yours.
Good afternoon all. Myself, Amit Gupta, General Manager from Chandigarh Transport Department. Actually, Mr. Amit Talwar was supposed to come over here, but due to administrative reasons, he could not come over here. So I am giving presentation on his behalf. So my presentation is based on ITS, Intelligent Transportation System. It's a small component of smart cities. So we have implemented ITS in improving the bus system. Presently, it has been done in intercity operations. So from commuter perspective, we need to know which bus should I take to reach my destination. First of all, and then from when the bus is coming, like what is the schedule time of the bus. So I need to have timings of the bus, so when the bus will come exactly, and what is the bus schedule and route. So what is the bus number which is coming, and what path it will follows. From operational perspective, we need to come to know, is any bus is overspeeding. So from operation perspective, I need to know whether the bus is overspeeding, whether it is going on New Delhi, Chandigarh, New Delhi routes. So whether it is going above the speed of 80 or 90 kilometers, which is designated as per MOTS MOT laws. So whether all the buses are operating as per schedule, right? Like bus has to operate at 5:20 p.m. suppose, so it should be operated at 5:20 p.m. If it is the timing are being deviated, though we came to know that it is the timings are being deviated. And next is, are there any breakdowns? Whether the bus has breakdown in the routes. So from management perspective, we need to know revenue earned per bus. So what revenue is the bus is being generated and per route. So if the bus is going on Chandigarh New Delhi route, so what revenue it is taking. So whether we need to take a call on if the bus is taking suppose less revenue. So we need to take a call on that route. So what facilities are being provided to the commuters. And but transport facilities during festival seasons. So suppose Diwali or Holi is there, so we need to have we need to provide more buses. So by keeping a tab on the revenue, so we can deploy more buses on that particular route. So these are the basically ITS broadly. These are the ITS components. Automatic fare collection through smart cards is there. And route optimization there, you need to have a personal travel assistant from passenger perspective. You can have an Android app, and we have a web tool through which we can see the expected time of arrival and expected time of departure of the buses at particular location. So we have a depot management over here, through which we can control the depot operations. Suppose for bus outsetting and bus scheduling. So we can allocate the buses with the help of this ITS tool. So in this smart transport planning, we can have a better management of resources and efficient interface with related services. Like we can have LEDs installed at ISBT so that commuters can easily see what is the expected time of arrival and expected time of departure of the buses. So presently, the status of the Chandigarh transport is in intercity buses we have successfully implemented. It is the final phase. It is yet to be launched, and for intercity buses for local operations, it is being planned. So this is the project which is being funded by World Bank, and we are in the planning stage of this for city operations. So these are the ITS components. This is the GPS-based GPS is installed in the buses. So through GPS, it sends the signals to the server, through which we can track the buses on the Google Maps. So we are these are as you can see over here in the right side. So these are all the buses which are being tracked on the on real-time basis. So we can come to know what is the location of the particular bus. So we can do it route-wise or vehicle-wise. If we know the number of the bus, from suppose it is 7501 or 7502, so we can just enter the number and we can come to know the location of the bus. We can also monitor the outsetting and route efficiency of the fleet. Suppose the bus was supposed to come from Chandigarh to Delhi via Karnal, whether the route has been deviated or not. So we can come to know about this also. So we have also launched this handheld ATM-based ticketing machines. So through which this is automatically, this is a time-saving process. ATM is a time-saving process. It automatically collects the fare. It automatically tells us so if you enter the source and destination, it will automatically tell what fare to collect. So it is in the ease of conductors. Conductors are very happy with this, and there is a zero pilferage in this. And this is a passenger information. Other component is passenger information system. In this, we used to install LED boards at the ISBTs, in which we can get the ETAs, expected time of arrival and departure of the buses on real-time basis. So, another is a mobile-based public transit application. Through Android application, we can come to know what is the arrival time and what is the departure time of the bus. And there is also a web interface, which also shows us the ETA and ETA. So this is the tracking of fleet on the maps. So you can see in this slide. So here, if I click on particular bus, it will tell you the route number, route information, which depot it is, long and lat of that particular bus, speed at which it is traveling, along with the driver number and conductor number, next stop and last stop, which is it has traveled. So with date and time stamping and current location. So it can help us in, I mean to say, from if I got a complaint from some passengers that this bus has not come, so he can just call at the call center that this particular bus had not came. So we can tell him that it is at this location and it will take just 5 or 10 minutes to reach to your location. So it is a great tool which has helped. It will also help in bunching of it, to identify the bunching of the buses. So, like you can see over here, there are 2 buses. So this shows us the timing of the buses. This is the gap. If these buses will be too close, then there is a bunching of the buses. So we need to reorganize our routes so that this gap is more. So these are alerts which we used to get, that overspeeding alerts. These are all the MIS reports which you used to get from this ITS tool. This overspeeding reports, depot vehicle and route-wise reports, missed stop alerts. Suppose he has missed 2 or 3 stops, so we can get the MIS report of that this particular driver has missed this much of stops. And this is a route, we can also get the route deviation reports, trip status reports, how much kilometers it has covered on the buses, and along with the distance level. So this is a passenger information system, as I already explained. This disseminates the information with mobile application and web-based tool. So this is just screenshots of our CTU app. So in this, you can enter the arrival at particular location. Like in Chandigarh ISBT 43, if I will search arrival, then I will press the button of search, then it will show us all the buses which are coming along with the time stamping. And this is based on real-time information basis. So if the particular bus is scheduled to come over here at suppose 3:30, then it will definitely come at 3:30 because it is through GPS, real-time basis. Then same is with the departure of the buses. So this can be done for all the locations, all the prominent locations on which this CTU operates is long route buses. So if we know the bus number, suppose one of my relatives is traveling through this bus number and he tells you that I am traveling through this bus number, then he can just enter the bus number and it will show the location along with all the information. So these are all the benefits of ITS in actual bus operations. We are getting a route deviation, real-time trip status. We are also getting the bus behavior analysis. We also do bus behavior analysis, like if driver is overspeeding, if he is deviating the routes, then we used to do the analysis and we take action accordingly. So these mobile applications and web interface for commuters for better experience of the passengers. Installation of LED screens as ISPTs with respect to ET and ATD on real-time basis. So we are, as I already said, we are planning it on city bus services management. Presently, automatic fare collection system is not there. We are integrating all the components into one platform, like, and this we are also interacting with other departments to have a common platform where we can have a AVL plot, automatic vehicle allocation along with the common GIS maps for routes and all the things. And we are also planning to have a last mile connectivity along with the e-rickshaws. Suppose a bus is used to deport passenger at particular bus queue shelter, then for last mile connectivity, there will be e-rickshaws from particular bus queue shelter to their houses at very nominal charges. We are also planning to have integrated bill payments and a ticket with a smart card. The same smart card will be used in the ATMs, electronic ticketing machines, as well as for paying bills and for all other city activities. Thank you.
Thank you. You start off with the webinar?
Yes. Our next speaker will be Mr. Roberto Gavazzi, who will be joining us through video conferencing from Italy. So we'll be just connecting to him.
Audio. Mr. Roberto, please start.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I start with my presentation. First of all, thank you for your invitation, and I really apologize to not be in that wonderful country that is India with you. Anyway, I will try to present you something about the smart city projects we have in Italy. I think that the best way to start my presentation is with a short video. just 1 minute and a half that tries to summarize, to explain what is our concept of smart city, what is our control room, and so on. So please, if you can play the video.
Muted.
You may continue, Mr. Roberto. The video is over.
Okay. So after this short video, I would like to tell you something about what we are doing in Italy, in Italian cities, and also in Europe. First of all, we are working with the Torino city, and we have 3 projects. The first one you can see in my slide on the bottom right. It is called Almanac project, and it is a European community founded project, a smart city, and it ended end of 2016. It was a project dedicated to the development of a smart city platform, and I will show the smart city platform we used in all this project. It's always the same, and I will show it in the next slide. And it was also a project in which we tried on the field the smart city platform for 2 services: smart waste service with the utility, the waste utility in Torino, and the other one was a smart water, smart metering, and also, for example, water leakages found, searching, and so on. Again, with the utility, the water utility, the water distribution utility in Italy. So this is Almanac, and we used our smart city platform that I'm going to show you in the next slide. Then we are having the so-called, on the bottom left of the slide, the so-called Torino Smart City project Living Lab, in which we deployed a square in Torino. It is called Piazza Risorgimento, and we deployed many smart city services in Piazza Risorgimento, the services that you have seen in the video and that are in the Open Air Lab. In fact, you can see on the top of the slide the Open Air Lab, that is the Smart City Lab deployed here in Telecom Italia building here in Torino, and in which we deployed the services, the Smart City services. So usually we first of all deploy the new services in our environment, that is an outdoor environment, the Open Air Lab, and then we carry the services to the cities. That's our model. Then we are working always in Torino in the so-called Monica project. That is a European project in which there is Torino and there are other European cities like Lyon, like Hamburg, like Stockholm, like Copenhagen, and like Bonn in Germany, in which we are designing, developing, and deploying safe city services. So this project is dedicated to the safety of the citizens, especially in big crowded events. So not always, but on big events. For example, in Torino we have a big music festival that is called Kappa Future Festival. That is, it involves around 40,000 people in 2 days, so a very crowded, very concentrated people. Or, for example, we have during the weekends, every weekend, we have the so-called Movida in a district of Torino that is called San Salvario. The Movida is, let's say, during the weekend, is for young people that meet in San Salvario district. So they listen music, they drink in the pubs, in the bars, but also outdoor in the street. And this Monica project is trying to ensure safety in these big events using drones, using video cameras, using sensors, safety sensors, like, for example, fires or other type of sensor, using video analytics to identify problems, using bracelet to the people, especially for the Kappa Future Festival, that enter in the festival. They are provided with a small bracelet, sending very few information, the position of the person, sending to the control center, the position of the person, then there is a button to be pushed if you are in danger, and then the bracelet is able to receive from the center an alarm that can be in form of the switching on of the LED or a vibration on the bracelet. This alarm is telling to the citizens, to the people, that there is a danger close to their geographical position. So I don't have I just try to be quick, to be short, because I don't have so much time, but that's essentially the Monica project. Then we have a big smart city project with Firenze, with Florence, in which we are deploying smart waste, smart benches, smart grid, smart agriculture, let's say smart green, smart irrigation for the Firenze, le cascine public gardens, smart mobility services, and so on. And this will last till 2020. First, project so dedicated to connected vehicles, so the vehicle in the port are connected, and the logistic of the port is automated. I don't know if you have questions, otherwise I will go to the next slide.
Questions in the end.
We don't have questions right now. Please proceed.
Okay. This is a Smart City and Index reference framework in which you see our framework is based on 4 layers. The bottom layer represented with the yellow circle is the layer of smart devices or connected devices. Of course, these devices should be smart, meaning that they should have computational capabilities and also communication capabilities, but they should be very cheap, 3, 4, 5 euros per sensor, for example, and they should be very power savings because most of these devices are battery powered, and there are requirements that the battery should last at least 10 years. So we should have a very simple and the power consumption should be very low. Then we have the second layer that is the smart urban communication infrastructure or capillary networks layer. This is, as you have seen in the video, is the nervous system of the city, are the networks. As Telecom Italia, of course, it's one of our core business, the networks that shall collect the data from the smart devices. And on the network layer, we are using, in the past, we were using capillary network short range, like, for example, 868 megahertz, 802.15.4 protocol, or other type of short-range protocol. But now we are focusing on the narrowband IoT network technology, that is a 4G technology specialized, customized for Internet of Things requirement. So low consumption, low cost, higher penetration, and other things. Of course, we are deploying. Of course, we are looking also at 5G, and I will tell you something about that in the next slides. But we are deploying a narrowband IoT standard, 4G standard, in all Italy, and the roadmap is to have all Italy covered with the narrowband IoT network technology for the end of the year. The advantage of the narrowband IoT are that you don't have to deploy a new network, because you can, let's say, rely on the current 4G network. You just have to do a software upgrade. So it's I think quite a very economic way to have an Internet of Things network available in all the country territory, because when you have to develop a very localized, say in a square or in some district, you can use also capillary network, ad hoc deployed network. But if you really want to have a country coverage, the standard solution of the mobile networks are the solution we are, let's say, investing and we are counting on. Then the third layer is the platform layer. We are using, let's say, the middleware platform layer. So we are using an Etsy machine-to-machine. We used an Etsy machine-to-machine, standard machine-to-machine platform for data store and share. And now we have already released the evolution of the Etsy machine-to-machine, that is the one machine standard machine-to-machine platform. As Telecom Italia, we are involved in the one machine-to-machine, and we were involved in the Etsy machine-to-machine standardization body. For the Etsy, we were also my colleague Enrico Scarrone was the chairman of the Etsy machine-to-machine standard, and we are also deeply involved in one machine-to-machine. So we think that the one machine-to-machine standard can be the right solution for the third layer, the platform layer for the Internet of Things and for the smart city services. And we are using it everywhere, in Firenze, in Torino, in the project I described at the beginning of my presentation. Then we have the fourth layer, that is the application layer, in which we have a vertical application platform. Like, for example, we have an application dedicated to the management of the waste collection, of the sort of waste collection process. We have other type of application, but most important, we have a smart city control center platform that, thanks to the one machine-to-machine platform that have all the data available from the city, because we are concentrating, we are sending from our networks all the data available to a unique platform that is the one machine-to-machine platform, of course multi-tenant, multi-users, but a unique platform. So the application, the control room smart city platform can rely on the data on the one machine-to-machine to develop and to show dashboards, different type of dashboard. For example, there could be a very high-level dashboard for executive for the measure of the city that can see on a map in real time what is happening, if there is an incident somewhere, or if there are problem of mobility, of vehicles mobility, what is needed from him. While you have also custom dashboard dedicated to the various services. So for the safety in the city, you need a custom dashboard and application for the police, the local police, and so on. So that's our platform you are using in all Italian smart city and European smart city project. If you let me know if you have question, otherwise I will go on.
No questions right now. Please go ahead. No questions.
Okay, so just few words about 5G use case categories. We are working in our smart city project. We are planning to introduce early 5G networks from 2018 till 2020. We are working in the, let's say we are compliant, we are working the 5G action plan from the European Commission. That is an action plan in which 5G network technology will be gradually introduced with the trials in the next 3 years, because you know the commercial launch of 5G technologies is up to date planned for 2020. There are countries, from what I know, in which they want to really anticipate to have early launches, like, for example, South Korea for Olympic Games, if I remember well, and other countries, Japan, for example. I don't remember if it's for Olympic Games or for World Championship, some event, so they would like to anticipate. But in any case, what we are going to introduce in the Italian cities in the next this year, but also in the next 2 years, are the three different type of 5G services that are classified by the 3GPP standard worldwide forum body, that are the critical communication, in which you have extreme low latency and ultra reliable communication that are important, for example, for the smart grid, are important for in general for the industry 4.0, in which you control the robots in an assembly line, which are important for the safety. So it's important to have really low latency services in case you have to intervene. And it's important for emergency management. When you have earthquake, you have environmental emergency, you need an ultra reliable communication network to be able to maintain on the communication in the geographical area in which you have environmental emergency like floods, earthquake, and so on. Then the second category is the most important, is the category of, let's say, we are focusing today for our Smart City project, that is the massive Internet of Things, in which massive means here that if you have a number of sensors very high in a low geographical area, the today networks are not able to manage. I mean, hundreds, thousands of sensors cannot be managed by the capability of today network. So 5G will really help in this. And then, of course, we have enhanced mobile broadband. So we are the target is 1 gigabit per second for every mobile device. So also on this there is a quantum leap of evolution, and we are introducing this end of this year and 2018. Of course, always in the 4-layered architecture, especially for the Internet of Things, we are also in parallel using the one machine-to-machine platform we developed. If there aren't questions, I can go on the next slide.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Okay. So, as I have already introduced, we deployed a Smart City control room here in Torino. You see some photo, you see some application based on 3D and maps. That is a representation of a Smart City control room. And again, I have already introduced this. It's important to have all the data of the city in the same platform, so you can have a cross analysis. So for example, you can have a cross analysis of the traffic situation compared with the meteo situation or with the emergency situation. In the control room, there should be together in the same physical space, for example, policemen, people from police department, firemen, ambulance and people from ambulance and hospitals, and so on, in such a way that in a crisis situation you can really intervene. Additionally, I would add that you have the real-time situation in the cities available, but you have also all the historical data of the city. So you can do big data analysis, statistically analysis, to see how the city is evolving, to see how the traffic is evolving in the city. Maybe in some road traffic is decreasing, in some other place traffic is increasing, to see how the pollution of the city is evolving in the time, to see for example, crimes zone, which are the zone in which you have more crimes, to see energy consumption statistical for each district of the city, because of course smart energy is an important service for the city. I will go to the next slide if you don't have question.
Please go ahead.
So, some words very quickly about the open air lab we have in Torino. We have a service, you can see the photos, we have a smart metering service, we have smart bus stop, we have smart waste services, smart green and irrigation. We have electric mobility and smart parking. We have a smart bench, smart light, and advanced video surveillance. We have, of course, roadside units and onboard units for connected vehicles. We have narrowband IoT and capillary networks. We have IoT platform and consoles. And we have the room. You can see the photo of the room on the bottom right of my slide. So, with this, I ended my, let's say, description and presentation. Just, let's say, to smile a little bit, some slide in the following showing the importance of the ecosystem, because I didn't speak about the importance of the ecosystem on Internet of things as smart city projects. You really needed to have all the components at the same table, all the stakeholders. So you need to have devices developers, like for example, who is deploying smart bus stations, who is deploying city benches, who is deploying lamp posts in the city. You need car manufacturers, you need a lot of stakeholders from the device side. You need the network, so you need the platform, and you need also the end users. So you need the city municipality, you need public security, police, firemen, you need utilities, water, gas, energy utilities. You need real estate at the same table. The smart city is really an ecosystem, and is not just the introduction of a platform or a network. You need the ecosystem. So in the following slide, just some joke of cases in which you don't have the ecosystem. You can see something. So with this, I really thank you. There will be a final video again of two minutes. I put in the slide, you can see my contacts point, my telephone numbers, my email. I'm not there, but if you need information, call me or send me an email. I put also the YouTube links to the videos that you are looking, the first video and the video that you are looking now. Again, if you have a question.
We can take any question, one odd question.
Unmuted.
Video has to after the video? Okay.
Excuse me?
Can I have a question, please?
Mr. Roberto Gavazzo for his presence in the session from Italy. So considering the time constraints, we'll be only able to take up a few questions. So do we have any questions from the House?
Yeah, I have a question, please.
Yeah,
I am audible to that side?
yeah, sir. You're
Okay. My question is that when we were talking about device layer, and the speaker said that device is defined by, has got computational power as well as computational capacity and works on low power. Now, many devices may be scattered at different locations, and they may need at times some attention and some or maintenance or management of those devices. And those devices may be of different types scattered about places. So how do we effectively remotely manage those devices about their failures, about their power, or there are redundant devices to take on the load for the time being, in general? It's a very generic question.
So can we have the comments from Mr. Christoph on this?
Can I repeat the question?
Yeah, sir. So can we have the
No.
question again? Actually,
I think
I'll speak it slowly.
yeah.
You mentioned about the device layer before the application and transport layer, etc. Now, the devices, you said, would be computational devices and use low power. But at times, those devices may develop certain defects and failures, and they'll be scattered at locations which are not reachable. So what is the philosophy of remote management of such devices and upgradation of such devices and so on? Because there may be local management possible, but remotely how to look after those devices.
So is he able to hear, or do we? Mr. Roberto, are you able to hear?
Mr. Roberto? Hello? Yeah, are you able to hear
Yes,
us, Mr.
sir.
Roberto?
I think we
Yeah,
can do by
I-
mail.
Yeah, sir,
I
there's a
heard the
question. Yeah. I'll
Yeah.
repeat the question for
Yes.
you. It is said that the devices
no,
that...
it's okay.
No, he heard.
It's okay, it's okay.
Yeah.
I understood. The management of the devices is a very important and focal issue because you really need to manage the devices remotely, otherwise the business case is not sustainable. We are thinking of tens and hundreds of devices. For the device management, we are using the standard, the OMA, device management standard. For the network management, of course, we are using all the tools because you can have a problem on the device or you can have a problem on the network. So you have really to be able to do a remote diagnosis, and then if you can also to intervene from remote using OTA, over the air software upgrade, for example. But of course, if you need a physical intervention on site because you have to substitute physically, mechanically the device, of course you have to go there. But it's important to be able to do most of the diagnosis monitoring from remote. Of course, the devices can be reached. Sometimes if the device is complex, we use the VPN for device management, or if it is not enough complex to have a VPN, of course, we can use other type of, the OMA standard is what we are using for remotely management. I don't know if I answered correctly to the question.
Thank you very much.
Considering the limited time available with us, we'll not be able to take up more questions for this session. So we thank Mr. Roberto Gavazzi for his presence from Italy and for answering our queries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you a lot to you.
With that, we come to the formal felicitation part. as Mr. Sevasailam has to take a leave to attend to an immediate engagement. So I would like to request Mr. Vipin Tyagi, Executive Director CDOT, to felicitate Mr. Christoph Collinet with a token of thanks and gratitude. Thank you, sir. And to felicitate Mr. Amit Gupta with a token of thanks and gratitude. Thank you, sir. With this, we end this session, and now we'll have a short tea break, and we'll assemble at the same place after 20 minutes, because we have limited time available with us. I request you to please stick to the time schedule so that we can take up the proceedings forward as per time. Thank you.